thanks for joining. And the goal of this meeting is going to be kind of informal. I want to run through some of our updates, the Coast to Coast virtual show and the DPS photo show guidelines, and like a Q&A. So if you guys have questions as we're going, raise your hand. Barbara, if you could keep an eye on the chat. If anyone has a question in the chat,
okay, I'll
drop it in,
yep.
and
I'll let you know.
Awesome. Yeah, let me know. Just shout out.
Yep.
Then we're going to go through.
Sorry.
Pardon?
Have I turned my camera on? I'm just looking on the screen.
No.
That better?
There you are.
Right. Good.
Good.
All right. So on the next topic, we're going to go through the frozen AI doses that are in storage by DPCNA. These are the ones that are available at no charge if you have a sales pony mayor and you put the application in. We'll go through all of those rules for that. And in the end is a open Q&A. So any questions or comments, we're here to happily discuss it. Any questions before we get started?
No, great. Thanks for putting this together.
Yeah, me too.
And thanks
so
for
first, really quick, I'm so happy that you could join, Mary, because I think that the DPS photo show is an important thing for us to, participate in. And there's always questions that I never know how to answer. Mm-hmm. So we'll be launching a points competition this year. It's not quite ready for me to discuss it yet, but we're going to be launching it by mid-year. We're thinking this next quarter, but keep an eye out for it. And when we launch it, I'll probably do another webinar for questions as we go through it. And then the DPCNA Coast to Coast virtual show videos can be submitted anytime between now and September 9th, which is our deadline, which is the same deadline for the DPS photo show, right? You've kept that September 9th date, Mary?
I'm just having a double check because I can't remember because it moved.
And Jennifer, maybe do you want to introduce Mary to everyone? Because I don't know if everyone knows who's joining us. So
yeah. Mary, you want to give an introduction on what you help out with DPS and just, any fun facts about you?
Right. That'll put me on the spot. I first got into Dales because I had an unregistered Dales. I hate to think how long ago. She was a cracking mare. Unfortunately, I got her and queried just after they closed the register for the section D, which is ponies of Dales type. So I couldn't actually get her registered anywhere in the block. After then, I've had various registered ones. And I've still got, or between the family, we've still got two. Yartleton Arabella and Copley Lane Comet. Arabella is black and Comet is a bay. He's nominally my husband's horse pony. He's slightly overgrown at 15 hands, 15.2 maybe, I can't remember. I've been active in the local society, the Area 11, which is my part of the world, Worcestershire, Herefordshire, Shropshire, Gloucestershire, sort of south west central of England. I started helping at the local shows. Unfortunately, the main linchpin died and people didn't seem to end up having ponies in this area. So I took over the area rep, which is why it's called Area 11 show. Our real show was a come and have fun show, and we'll do anything and everything. Literally, we did showing because people expect showing, but we did an awful lot of fun classes and cross country and handy pony and the works. So I started the photo show 10 years ago, believe it or not. I find it hard to believe anyway, to try and carry on that ethos. Hence, when I sponsor classes, I prefer it to be the doing classes rather than a showing, because a lot of Dales are just used as everyday ponies. You jump on them and you go for a hack, a trail for you. You jump on them and you perhaps go to a little local show, or you just play around in the field. So that's why I started it, just to keep something going. And it's definitely been worthwhile. October can get a bit hectic, which is why I've started to pull it forward. I didn't actually think it was September, but I might be totally wrong. I will look it up. I haven't got it with me. It might have been October, whatever the number was, 9th. I can't remember.
You know, it's Mary, it's okay because we'll figure it out and we'll post it. No worries.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, we'll verify after this. And then the DPCNA show will close at the same time. And the whole thought behind that is so everybody can participate in the DPCNA show, get your ponies ready, take your photos while you're doing your videos, and then send your photos into DPS Photo Show and videos into DPCNA.
Yep, that's the way it goes. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's why it's set up. And thank you guys for entering just as much as the people over here. I have had quite a few entries from Europe as well. Although, like yourselves, it's more awkward now to try and post rosettes abroad. We'll have to see how that goes with yourselves. We'll work around it.
Yes, we will. Okay. So jumping into some of the guidelines for the photo shows, we're going to do the DPS photo show first. So Mary, if you want to talk through the slides and kind of tell people what you're looking for, and then I'll switch slides when you're ready.
Right. If anybody's interested in seeing the whole of the results, I'm hoping that the link still works for the whole of the 100 and whatever it was, 107, I think, last year.
It worked for me like 2 days ago. It worked.
Brilliant. Then you get all the ponies entered. Some of them obviously entered more than once, but you get the whole range of photos, the quality of them, how the pony is or isn't standing, but generally for the in-hand classes, what Jennifer's put as ideal is a good photo. Pony is side on, doesn't matter which way it faces. It's standing pretty square. Be nice if the ears were forward, but that's icing on the cake. If you look through, you'll find some of them are more posed. Some of them are obviously taken at a showground rather than in the field like that one. I'm more than happy for field photos. I know that the second one is a field photo. I have to own that I took that one. That is my comet. Trouble with here is I have my phone, which is not very high resolution. And I sometimes think at the end of the year, shall I put one in? And normally I haven't got one, but that was half representative. He actually is 23, so he's not looking too bad. But yes, it's not ideal. Head down doesn't matter too much. It's nice if it was up. It's obviously not standing square, but what really lets it down is the low res. If you're taking photos at shows, that's fair enough. You've got the pony groomed up, you've got a head halter, a rope halter, or a bridle on it. Preferably don't have the handler in it. One of the main criteria when I started this is I knew in the UK that there were a lot of preferred ponies. So I wanted the people out, so that I'm not accusing the judges of anything, but my personal opinion when I first started is if the handlers aren't in it, they may recognise the pony, they might not, but it's much more of a level playing field for those that are just coming in to thinking about showing. Okay, in a photo, but thinking about showing, and those that do it up to Hickstead and all the other big shows, Royal International over here. I don't quite know what you've got as equivalent. So basically the idea is that ponies are anonymised. Any questions on the in hand?
Yeah, one thing I wondered about, can we just go back for 1 second?
Yep.
Yeah, all right. So I'm wondering from the judge's point of view, if the tail is over the hocks on the bay mare, and then the black pony is standing in a shadow behind here, would the judges prefer the complete sunlight so they can see all the hocks and the legs?
Obviously, yes, preference, but I'm not an elite show. I would much prefer people had a go. It is a fun show. And if you can do the best you can in the field, I get quite a lot of field ones, as you will see if you look through. Yeah, in an ideal world, yes.
Great.
I'm just looking.
I have a
Keep
question
going
too,
and I
which
will
I
look for a letter I was looking for.
well, I have a question that people have asked before is how are the photos judged? Are they judged by like confirmation, or is it, less, more like type? Like, are there specific things that the judges are looking for that you can pay attention to in your photo to make sure that you have the best chance of winning?
If you look at the DPS website for the ideal pony traits, so to speak, then they will always be guided by that. So yes, they're looking for the type of pony. Comet is actually quite a good type. It's just a crap photo. I apologise. So it is type. It's how they're looking, preferably not too fat. Fit is good. Sometimes if they're older, then you can't get them fitter. Sorry, I'm losing it. Yeah, type, conformation within the breed. And it's what they're looking for is whether it's got a bit of feather, their mane and tail aren't clipped. If it's more of a headshot, then the whiskers and everything are still there because there's no trimming. Yeah, it's...
How short is it acceptable to trim their tail? Like if they're in work, I have to trim my pony's tails, otherwise they'll be on the ground. So what's that level where you can trim a tail to?
If you're driving, I know from experience that you will have to have a shorter tail. But I tend to make sure if I'm trimming my tails, which I do because we get horrendous mud, it's between the hock and the fetlock. Sort of at this time of year, I will trim to about halfway between, on the basis that in the summer it's grown a bit and they've still got their fly swat. I don't think anybody would expect a tail to be on the ground. I think that personally that's not fair to the pony because they'll tread on it. I think if the tail was fetlock height, that's fine. If it's a driving pony and it's a bit higher, that's also fine. It depends whether you're working what I would call in gears or whether you're working to a trap. In gears is if you're snedding or working as a workhorse, cart horse type working. Does that explain?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions on, I'll say in hand? Right, I will move on to the ridden. The ideal is good. You've got a side-on pony, you've got the rider, everybody's looking what they're doing. Ideally, perhaps a little bit closer in, but you've got enough light that they can pick out the conformation of the pony. It's standing pretty good. Unless you've got a pony that shows every week, you're never, ever going to get them to stand full square all the time, I don't think. The not ideal, I know, or I can guess the rider. It's at an angle, but it's an angle such that the pony looks like it's got a huge head. It needs to be twisted round, and it actually does need to be on the side. Saddle, I think would be ideal. In the UK, we're more used to seeing people with hats on, helmets. So from that point of view, possibly would be better. I don't think saddle or not is a total issue. I know we have people with side saddles and an odd Western saddle rather than purely English saddles. We have had a few bareback ones, so that's not an issue. The main problem with this one is it is a bit low res, but the pony doesn't look right. It looks all head, forehand, and it's got no bum. Can people see that?
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me.
Yep, very much so.
I think if you look again, if you look through the whole range of things, you'll see pick out. I know last year, and I was personally a little surprised. The ridden winner was at 3/4. I mean, it was a cracking photo. Don't get me wrong. It was all in focus. It was all good, but the horse was like 3/4 on, maybe not quite so turned out as the picture on the right, turned as in angle. It was slightly closer headwise to the thing. And I personally couldn't quite see why, although it was a nice photo, nice pony, but that's up to the judges, not me. I can only suggest as I personally see it. All I know is the judges are very fair.
And the judges are blinded, like the names of the ponies don't go to the judges, right?
No, they don't go. So unless you've got a very American something in the background, they're never going to know it's with you or over here. You can guess because of some of the
I'm
scenery.
pretty sure my Florida photos are very obvious.
Well, I was thinking some of the Washington ones because it's more pines and this, that, and the other. Then yes, it looks a bit more like the States rather than, say, Scotland here. But yeah,
Hopefully they're not looking into backgrounds. I'm sure they focus on the pony.
they do. They do.
Yeah.
Anything I've
We
missed?
appreciate that. I don't have any questions. Anybody else?
Nope.
And on to the fun classes.
Fun classes are fun classes. It doesn't really matter how the pony is. A lot of the fun classes are, I really like looking at them because they're so different, the whole gamut across, and it's interesting to see how they interpret the different classes. The hacking stroke trail class is always very good. I'm trying to think this class, but we've got the photos from.
I think it was like the winter.
Yeah, it was the winter. Trying to think of its. Yeah, winter celebrations of any description, wasn't it? I mean, again, the one on the right is low. It's the resolution, I think, that gets it. Sometimes phones do not. I know mine is exactly that. Mine is not an iPhone, it's just a normal Motorola. They come up with a low res phone. Some of the Apples are fine, but I am finding with some of the, I'll say Apple phones pictures coming through, that they are a pain to try and sort out and process from my point of view. And I think Jennifer and I have had a lot of problems trying to get her the first class winners for all the classes to actually put in her little video, because they all kept coming out about stamp size, postage stamp size. So
Yeah, I know. I take mine with my iPhone and I send them high resolution, and like mine that I sent in this year were low resolution. So I'll have to fiddle with that a bit and maybe try and send out some instructions for people if they're taking photos with iPhone.
It might be some of the other, like the Galaxies or anything. I don't know. They just have to be aware that it might come out as small. What might work is if they put in the email when they're sending them in, it is helpful to me to actually have one photo per email. Then I've got no chance of getting the pony's name wrong, and its age if I need to in some of the classes. Some of the classes get split by age when I've got all the entrants in, which is why you sometimes get, say, the mare class is split on a funny age. It's because it's about 50-50 above and below. If they were adding the photo to the actual text part of the email rather than just a little icon, that might help. I'm just trying to think. October seems an awful long time ago now.
I can try and test them with you, Mary, and see if we can figure out a good way to transfer for people and put some instructions out later in the year.
Yeah, that would be good.
if that would work.
Yeah, that would work. But I think
Perfect.
I think that's
photobomb you
what
with my
will
pony.
be done. Yeah, I think that's what needs to happen. Fun classes. Yeah, you can have a slightly advanced notice because the photo shows 10th year. Apart from the trial class, we are having a 10 class. And that'll get your old grey cells working to work out how can I put 10 in a Dale's photo. It's got to be a bit of a Dale's in there, even if it's just the ears and you're looking at a door with 10 stuck on it. Or I know you have, say, a 10th Street over there or something. But there will be a 10.
Yeah, 10 feet bulls in front of one pony.
Whatever.
Mhm.
Could be 2 ponies and 1 human, 10 legs. Whatever you want to, I mean, it could be a pony, a dog, and a human. I don't know. Think about it. You've got advance warning. You can take lots of fun, good pictures.
I have a question about that 10 class. Should we explain what we're taking the picture of for the 10 if it's a little abstract? Would that help the judges or would that not be passed along?
I can't really pass on comments. So in that respect, it will have to be fairly recognisable, which is why I'm saying you can count 10 legs, or if there's a 10, or I mean,
Make sure it's not like an Americanized saying. It's a universal understanding.
Well, what would 10 be different in the States than over here? I mean, somebody said,
I'm
you
just thinking like if there's some
10 years old, but
saying, you know,
like what?
I'm just thinking like if there's some funny American saying that has something to do with 10 and it may not translate well.
You can't think of one offhand to.
Not that I can't think of anything off the cuff, but there, in my experience, there's so many things that, you know, we say that you may not say or vice versa that may not translate well in a photo. So I didn't know if we should send a comment or if we should just focus on making the photo speak for itself.
Send the comment. Preferably have as I say, one email for this so you can comment on the photo. What I can then do is I can't comment on the photo itself, but I can do a class comment list. That photo, I don't know what it will be, 15.3 is saying this with the 10, whatever 10 commandments or something. I don't know. I can't think of anything 10 at the moment. I mean, somebody suggested the age of 10, either the child or the pony or whatever. And I was thinking, you can't really see that. But yes, if that was what somebody wanted to enter, that's perfectly acceptable. And I can comment that the maybe a 10-year-old child on a 10-year-old pony. That's fine. That's still within the rules. And I can comment on. I can see now, it's good that I'm discussing this. I can see now that I will have to have a separate crib sheet for the judges for this class. But I'm hoping it will be a nice, fun class. And I'm also going to try and work it so that everybody gets a rosette in this class. I'm pretty good at getting rosettes to everybody. But this class will have a 10th anniversary rosette.
Nice.
And
nice. I'm looking forward to it.
Everybody will get one. On the subject of anniversaries, the it might not be quite the right position in this. It is the DPS's 110th anniversary this year. They will be doing something, and I don't know what. For the 100th, they did have centenary rosettes, and I'm assuming that they will have 110th rosettes. But money being a bit tight everywhere, I don't know if they will ask for a small contribution towards the rosettes, these special 110 commemorative rosettes. I don't know if you people would consider perhaps donating a little bit to get one. Have a think, and if you can feed your ideas back to Jennifer and she can get back to me. I don't know if Catherine York is on here. No?
I didn't see her join.
I
There
know
was
she,
one person that joined by phone, but I'm not sure what it was.
yeah, I know she ticked or commented on the Facebook thing. So I didn't know, since she's your DPS rep. But anyway, if Jennifer, you could mention that somewhere relevant, then we can perhaps, I've then got to go forward to the my main ones. I think I've got a meeting in March, a Zoom meeting in March. And I hopefully
If you could let me know about how much a donation would be, I'll take it to the board, the DPCNA board, and we can discuss it too.
And
yeah,
Mary, I'm the co-president and I plan to be at the DPS summer show. So it would be great if we did contribute, if we could possibly also produce some extra ones and use them for our show as well, which we did in a previous year. DPS donated rosettes for our very first Dale's Pony show.
so you're actually over in England?
No, I'll be just coming in the summer. So, but I will be at the show. So I'm happy to collect rosettes if they're available.
That would help, because if people over there wanted them, we could fill your suitcase with the commemorative rosettes, because they're going to have them by then. And then we can have a guess of how many entrants you might get from the States. Any extras I'll have to post over, obviously, but that would save a lot of Trump tariffs, shall I say, bluntly.
Happy to do so.
Or if anybody else is coming over a bit later in the year, we can perhaps sort something out if anybody's coming up. But yeah, that would be good. I'm making a note of your name, sorry.
This has been wonderful. Thank you so much, Mary, for talking through all this. I think it answered a lot of questions for me and gave me some things to think about for the fun show too.
So
is there
I'm curious how many people who are on here have entered either one of the shows, either the photo show or the video show. I see 2 hands up. Are there more? Am I missing? It's hard to scroll down. Tammy, it's your big chance. Because it is really fun. And we do have posted on the website, we have really good directions about how to pose your pony for the in-hand and the under saddle classes for the video show. And I'm not sure people take advantage of actually looking at them. So they're quite good. And then we also have a presentation that was done by Anna Fennell and Jill, and that's very good too, about showing your pony. So great resources along with this one, which we'll post on the website as well. Yeah, Jennifer?
Absolutely, yeah. And I'll repost some of those links too for people to revisit, because there's some of the videos are on YouTube, so they can be maybe a little difficult to find unless you know exactly where you're going. So I'll post some links and we'll get everybody kind of up to speed.
And Mary, we wanted to say thank you too for your generous donations to our shows in the past. I think you've done it once or twice. You've always offered it, and it was very welcome when we were trying to find our feet, and it was a gracious thing to do. Thank you.
It's not a problem. I'm well aware. I mean, looking at last year, I had 27 photos from the States. It's slightly lower because it was only 7 actual people or families, farms, whatever. Normally it's slightly more than that. What I'm trying to encourage with, in association with Jennifer, is that if people have only got like one pony and are concerned about the cost, which obviously everybody is nowadays, they can send me the entry money and the photos, which obviously doesn't cost any post, but the postage they can send to Jennifer, and she will do a mail out within the States, which is why I would be curious if anybody ever came over here late in the year, whether we can wangle them taking back the placing rosettes. But otherwise, I'm more than happy to send a bulk block off to Jennifer. Some of the people elect to pay the extra, which I think is about £15. It might be more this year, I don't know, to have them sent direct, which is fine. But I would really like to get the single pony or the 2 pony families to actually think about entering. The letter I can't quite find is that I had a lady in Wales, which is nowhere near as remote as parts of the States, but there wasn't really anything, and she didn't have any confidence, but she had a pony, and she started doing the photo show, I don't know, about 6 years ago. She did it for 2 or 3 years, and she got some feedback, and she got some rosettes, and she got a bit of confidence. And then I got a letter from her saying the photo show had given her confidence to actually go to a local show and actually show the pony. And I have to admit, I cried when I read the letter.
That's great. Good story.
Because that to me is
lovely, yeah.
what the show is about. Just trying to get the grassroots people out and about and enjoying their ponies and having a bit of fun and maybe getting an odd ribbon. I always have to laugh that your colouring system is different to ours. But yeah, that's what it's about. And the fun classes, anybody can enter. Whatever the pony.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Not a problem.
Any last questions for Mary, guys?
You can always drop me an email or a messenger if you have any queries. If you haven't got an old photo show schedule saved somewhere, then Jennifer will always be able to give it to you, or she can put it on any notes for this. That's fine. And I can always try and answer them. And if I don't know the answer, I'll just email the judges, because I will check with the judges about the length of tail. But I'm sure what I've said is fine.
Thank you.
Very good. Yeah, thank you. I have one last question too. And I don't know, I don't trim my pony's bridle path. And I don't know if this is how you describe it in the UK. A little strip of hair where the bridle or the halter sits on the pole.
Yeah.
I don't clip mine, but I had somebody ask me if you were allowed to clip it.
I have always done so, just the width of the bridle. I know I think I know, in Western classes, they often trim, 3-4 inches?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that would be acceptable. But I tend to
where the bridle sits.
Just where the bridle sits. If you've got an inch headpiece on your bridle, maybe 1.25 inches, just so it looks neat and it's more comfy for the pony. because if it's got a thick mane and you're putting the bridle on it, it can't be that comfy. So yes, I would say a short clip, the width of the whatever bridle you're using would be fine, because nobody's going to see that. But not the American class ones where they're 3-4 inches.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other little things that I can, because obviously a lot of this is the States horsemanship compared to the or showmanship, I should say, compared to the English, you know, how you turn them out.
Actually,
Right.
I
A
do
little bit different between them.
Somebody was asking.
Yeah, so I actually do have a question. So I know that like when you're showing in hand, like it's a halter, a rope halter or whatever, but at what point do you switch the stallions over? Because I noticed sometimes in the UK they actually have like a surcingle, it looks like a bridle connected to it. We don't, like in Canada, we don't normally see that. Is that required?
It is breed standard. I've never had a stallion, so I don't know what age.
Okay.
I'm going to guess at 2, maybe 3.
Okay. So for a colt that's under the age of 2, he could still be shown in a halter.
It depends on the colt, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
I'm sure you know what I mean. I would think possibly.
Website does say that they are to be licensed by the age of 3. So maybe it's around 3.
Yeah, it would be then. So 2, I think you're fine in a maybe a normal bridle or maybe a rope halter rather than a show halter. You know, the cotton webbing ones, just so got a little bit more control.
And Tammy, you know, we don't really have people who make those here in the States, but we did have the big Cannondale Canadian breeder who had them made in Canada. So there is, I don't know if that saddler still does them, but I think Shuna bought one, yeah, from her, and it was beautiful, absolutely gorgeously made. So it might be
I've
more
been looking
accessible.
all over and I cannot
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
anyone here.
I think asking someone to have them for our ponies it's a big cost, and it's not really something you'd use in a lot of other places. But if you like, I can try to hunt down who the saddler was who made that set and see if it might still be floating around because I'm not sure Shuna still uses it.
Okay, yeah, that would be wonderful. Like, because we do go to local shows here.
Yeah.
So my intent would be to also like still continue showing the 2 that I have in halter classes. I just didn't know if technically the colt should have it by a certain age.
It sounds like it's 3. What
Okay.
I will do is I will double check with Janet
Okay.
the age. I'm sure from what the website says that when they are registered as stallions, they've got to be in stallion tack over here.
Okay.
I'm trying to think it's more like a roller come surcingle. So I'm wondering whether you could adapt. But I will check and see if there's any other option that perhaps can be done in the States.
Well, I'm from Canada, actually.
Okay, Canada. I apologise.
That's okay.
You haven't entered because I haven't sent any to Canada.
No, not got my ponies last year.
Brilliant. I'll look forward to seeing them this year. I'm trying to think whether a decent surcingle would work in side reins.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I will ask. And I will get back via Jennifer.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just writing. Are any other stallions done in any particular garb, harness, or are they just bridled in
The
any?
ones here that show in our local shows follow the American Quarter Horse Association guidelines, and so they're just shown in a show halter. Or if they're being shown by someone in English attire, they're shown in a bridle.
Right. Okay. I will ask, and I will get back to Jennifer because I haven't got your contact details, so I'm
Thank
sure.
you.
Yep.
I've got it. I can transfer the message along. And then we will probably post, things that I think would be a common question on the Facebook page for everybody in case they have the same question.
Yes, if you can tag me in whatever, then if there's something I can't answer, then I can find somebody who can.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. And it sounds like we'll have lots of entries again for you. So get a good summer's rest. Throwing pictures at you.
Yeah, that's why I can't remember what the class numbers and things are, because once Christmas comes, that's forgotten about. I try and sort the rosettes out, or the bulk of them, when the show finishes, because then I know how much money I've got left so that I can sponsor things. Because I think I'm helping to sponsor your new points competition. I say the show, to get that off on the ground.
Lovely. We'd appreciate that. Yeah.
The other thing I would say is when I ran the area points competition, and I know with the UK points competition, if you enter the photo show, you still get placing points. I don't know whether Jennifer has worked out whether the photo show is going to be eligible for yours. I'm guessing it will be.
It will be, yes. Yeah, we've tried to make it really open, and the spirit of our points competition will be get your ponies out there, let people see them, let people meet them.
Yep, that's my philosophy.
Share them online in some capacity. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, so you get more points if you enter lots of classes.
Great.
Get a point for entering. But yes, you will usually get placed somewhere as well. I think you've all
Wonderful.
exhausted, so I wish you all well, whoever's getting the bad snow drifting in.
That's
Stay
all.
safe.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mary, for coming and for giving us, I know it's a little later in your afternoon and your evening. Stay warm, and if we have questions, we will definitely channel to them. And again, thank you so much for running this show for so many years. It's been of great interest to Dale's Pony folks here, where we have very little opportunity to show off our ponies.
Well, to be honest, I had very little shows to show off my ponies because I'm not a showing person. I've never had a show pony. So I always wanted the doing classes because I knew I could do well in them. But yeah, I'm really pleased that people like it, people enter, and more importantly, have fun. That's the motto, if you like, of the show as far as I'm concerned. I will wish you guys all the best, and I will hand back to Jennifer then.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for the invite.
Bye-bye. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So on to the DPCNA Coast to Coast virtual show. This isn't the exhaustive list of all the show rules, but you can find the exhaustive list of all the show rules in the top link, and I'll post that again to our Facebook page just for a reminder. There is a Facebook group specifically for the Coast to Coast virtual show. I urge all of you to join that. If you can't find it, send me a message on Facebook, Jennifer Mims, and I'll invite you to the group so you can get to it. And I wanted to include an example video of our in-hand class, and we do have a written one also on YouTube, which I will post to the virtual show Facebook page and the Sales Pony Appreciation Facebook page. But I just wanted to go over really quickly some common issues that we have with videos. So videos should be filmed in landscape mode, and a lot of them come in portrait, and it's not that you can't, review them in portrait mode, but it makes it hard for me to load them into YouTube for the judges to review them, because then they don't sit well in the group list. The handler should announce the class number and the age of the pony only. This past year, we went to a slightly different format where I didn't have people pre-register, which I think went a little bit better. I don't know if anybody's on the call who did the virtual show this year versus, well, I guess it'd be last year versus the year before. We can do pre-registration, but it makes it difficult for people to remember their registration numbers between the time of registration and sending their videos in. So if you just announce your class number and your age of your pony and don't say your name or the pony's name, that's very important, because the judges should be blinded. So I don't want them getting a pony's name or your name and then, having any bias towards or against the entry. And at the beginning of the video, the videographer should get a close-up of the shoulders and the hocks and then move the tail away if needed. I don't remember if this video does that or not, but I talked to one of our judges previously about this, and they did ask to move the tail away from the hocks so they could get a good view of it. And then most importantly, your pony should be moving openly and freely. So really get them running and at a nice, fast trot, and make sure that you have every angle of your pony, forwards or front, coming towards the camera, going away from the camera, and then each side. So I'm going to play this really quick, and then let's talk about any questions that you have. Everyone see the video going? Does anyone have any questions?
I'll make a couple of comments because we did have trouble with this in some of the previous shows, which is one thing to notice is that the handler is trying to keep her legs in concert with the pony's forelegs. So when the judge is looking across at the pony, they're not seeing the handler, they're seeing the pony more than anything. So it's really that's what their vision is. And often we run in front of the pony. You know, pony might not want to move on. So training them how to jog out with you is really pretty important. When you say trot, then they need to trot, and showing off that big Dale's trot as they go. I remember this video, and it's quite a young pony in the video, so she was just learning how to do that. But the other piece of it is that they're in a green meadow, and the pony's not eating. So that, I mean, you know, if you're tugging and trying to keep the pony head, you know, trying as hard as you can to have it be on all fours is really important. And also having to be fit as the handler who's running with the pony. If you're out of breath and the pony's running as quickly as you want it to, you might just die before the end of the video. So making sure that you have yourself together. If it's a hot day, you know, this handler's wearing a tweed coat, and, you know, and you might not want to do that. It's not that important. What's important is to get the pony moving out as they go. And the quality of the video on this on this slideshow right here is not as good as the one as it is when it's loaded on our website. So it's much clearer, and you can see the pony better on that.
Yeah, that's a good point, Meg. And I know when I did the show, you do have to really keep up, especially if you've got a taller pony. They have a big stride, and practice it definitely before you video the first time.
Does it matter what attire someone's in? Does it have to be English, or can they do Western, or?
There is no attire requirement, and we made it, it doesn't have to be even show clothes, but, you know, neat and tidy, but you do not
Okay.
have to be in, you know, show attire. Like, you don't have to put a coat on. If you just want to, you know, put on whatever riding wear that you have, that would be, you know, acceptable, and make sure your pony's groomed and just neat.
Okay.
It's really a fun show. So, you know, if you can clean up a little bit and, you know, look a little presentable, I think that the whole, you know, point of the show is to participate and, you know, share your pony with the community and get involved with DPCNA.
And one thing that we have noticed in previous videos is, so when we say tidy up, it means try to minimize you and maximize the pony. And one thing that is helpful is, so don't wear a great big baseball hat. Do tie your hair up, you know, things that just distract from the judge being able to see the pony really clearly. So you're just sort of there being part of it, and you don't have to show off your bling.
So, I mean,
I
I did
think
a
our
lot
only
of,
requirement is that you have to have a helmet on.
so like, I mean, I did a lot of showing in my youth. I'm not really a show interested at this point. My daughter does most of it. Now, would she have to be a member to be able to show, or can she sort of show under my membership?
How old is she?
I believe we have
19.
Yeah.
we have two different prices for members and non-members. So you don't have to be a member to join the show. It's just
Okay.
you get a discount if you are a member to join the show.
Okay.
I have a couple questions. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
The show, you did it last year. Yes?
Yes, we've done it the past 2 years.
And how many participants did you have last year?
Uh, um, I think we had number of farms versus number of ponies is different. I want to say there were 5 or 6 people who entered their ponies, but there were multiple ponies entered from most individuals.
Okay. And we did do it, we took a break from doing it, but we did it for a couple of years prior to that, and we had a lot of entries in every single class, and it was a pretty good sort of way to be able to present your pony, to have other people be able to see it and the outcome of it, and I think everybody enjoyed it, and the rosettes were gorgeous.
That leads into my second question, Meg. What is DPCNA doing for other people to see it? What's the target audience?
It's us, but that's a good question, and we could put that on an agenda and talk about that because you're right. It's a nice way to be able to market a pony if it does well in a class. But you can always refer, you can load that clip, or it's a YouTube clip. You can get it and put it on your own website. I think, right? It's a member access
Yes,
part of it. Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it's a YouTube clip that is open to the public, and I post the results on our website. So I can also go back and post the results in the video description too after the results come out.
Okay.
I will say one thing we've gone back and forth about the discussions about is the professionally shown ponies and the honor shown ponies. And I think we've decided that's really up to the exhibitor, decide what they want to do. But it is a show that's as Mary's show is, it's about having fun. It's about learning to bring Dale's ponies together, look at the quality of the ponies, and enjoy the prospect and not have to be too fancy about it. So if folks do enjoy, a very seasoned professional to show, I think that's still a choice, right, Jennifer?
Yes, yeah. And
Yeah.
our reserve champion and our grand champion rosettes, you get additional points if you are an owner handler versus having somebody else handle your pony for you.
Right, because
So that's all based on
yeah.
a point system.
I mean, the goal really is to have ponies that are fun for the people who own them, or going to be fun for the people who will own them.
Yeah, and I think for like the marketing purposes, if there's ideas that people have about, ways to get the information out, I do share this across multiple Facebook groups where, people can come see what the Dales are all about. And we do have an M&M class, or we also included the Gypsy Vanners, which I know are not technically M&M, but they're a relative of the Dales. So we've included that in order to try and get some participation from some of the other, native UK native breeds, and hopefully that will continue to take off. We had a cell participate last year, which was wonderful. So hopefully, as we continue to grow this, more and more people will participate. But if you have ideas, I'm, happy to try and see what we can implement. It would be wonderful to have some more people helping out. Any other questions?
So there's a question in the chat about inviting the Connemara group. We do have the M&M classes, so I think we have done that, and we've let them know because the Connemaras in Area 1 here in New England have always invited us as Dale's Ponies to show in their show, and have extended I think the invitation in Florida as well. So that's the M&M class, which is open to any M&M pony. And I think we've always had a fun class too, a versatility class. We should maybe have a do something stupid class, things that anybody can jump into, have a good time, and enjoy with it.
Yeah. I would like to add also, if there are classes that people want to have and there's going to be, 4 or 5 people that want to participate, I'm happy to add a class. It's very easy to do. Any other questions?
No, thanks.
All right, let's move on. And if you guys have any questions, you can send me a messenger on Facebook, or I have my email, which I can I'll post my email under our invite. So if you have any questions afterwards, you can go to the invite for this meeting, and you'll see my contact information in there.
And somebody did put in the chat, a games class would be fun.
The game class?
Games, I don't know who put that in there, but maybe you could say, like, describe what you mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can send in ideas on clothes. I so appreciate you guys coming and doing this. I'm going to run because we really are having, who else is getting this horrible snow at home? It's just the temperature's dropping. Yeah. And the buckets are freezing and it's getting dark. So I'm going to run and make sure everything's in there. But one pitch I will have is that we have several board members that are here now. And we really, really, really would love to have folks who are interested in being more active with DPCNA, jumping on board and working with us to make these things happen. So if you come away having met, some of us today, we have Trina down here, Jumping Jimmy. We have Hallie, who does an amazing media job. Catherine, I think, is on her phone. We have Barbara, who is the secretary who sent you that gorgeous packet of stuff. And then, of course, Jennifer, her work's nonstop. Rebecca, I think, is also caught in the snow with family stuff. But we really, 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 if you want to jump in and be part of working forward with this organization, we would so welcome your participation. So thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Meg. Stay safe
Yep.
and warm.
See you, Meg.
Okay, on to the frozen artificial insemination doses. So this is specifically for the doses that DPCNA has in storage. There are several stallions that are listed on the website. If you're interested in any of the stallions that are not in storage by DPCNA, there should be contact information for those stallions on the website. If you have any difficulty getting a hold of anybody, please reach out, let me know, and I'll help you get in touch with them. So thanks to a lovely grant by Hamilton Rare Breed Foundation and kind of organization of that grant by Equus Survival Trust, DPCNA is able to provide, one cover of one of the stallions that we have in storage. There's Dalyumi Duke of Earl, Castle Hill Rob, and Dartdale Peter Boy. I'm verifying this 100% right now with SBS, but I believe that Dalyumi Duke of Earl is the only one eligible to ship to Canada. So I know, Tammy, you're on here from Canada. So if you're ever interested in one of those 3 stallions, we'll talk, and I'll make sure to verify before we make any decisions. But just so you guys are aware.
All of those.
Say that again.
What was that?
My mare in Sparks is orange to all of those.
Oh, so very closely related to all of them.
Yeah. So if she's not eligible.
Keep an eye on. Yeah, the eligibility is for green and yellow pairs only at this time.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure that we're making solid breeding decisions. But hopefully, maybe we can expand this as we start to grow it. So this is the very first year that we've had these stallions in storage. So I think the more it becomes useful, hopefully the more we can do. So we'll see. So the requirements to be eligible for this dose are that the mare is a purebred DPS registered Dales pony located in North America. They are suitable for breeding. So one of those 3 stallions will use a spark sheet I have communicated with April. Spark sheets are being updated right now, so they will be re-released soon. So please check your Spark sheets, because as the population changes, the Sparks sheets will change, and that you may have a horse that was, orange and may get shifted to red, or may get shifted to, yellow. So just keep an eye on those as those come out. So the owner needs to submit an application for the doses through DPCNA by January 31st, 2026. You guys can contact me if you have any questions about that. They're a good candidate for breeding, so we would like them to be evaluated by a veterinarian before they are bred, because once the dose is gone, it's gone. We cannot replace it. We have a very limited supply and storage. And then we would also like to request that the owners send in confirmation photos of the mare, preferably in the last 6 months. If you guys have issues or problems with this, reach out to me. This is the very first year that we're doing this. We're still trying to find what that good balance is, and we want to work with everybody to make sure it works for you and for us. So that's kind of a broad overview. The application is available on the website. If you can't get to the website or having trouble finding it, let me know, and I'll either can send it to you, or if need be, print it and mail it. So are there any questions about the doses? One last thing, the cost covers the dose itself and shipping of the dose. So any veterinary care for your mare is not covered by this grant.
Sounds
Any
good, Jennifer.
questions, anybody? Okay. All right. So our general Q&A is now open. Thank you guys so much for calling in and attending. I really appreciate your interest in the show and the AI doses and DPCNA. And we will have this recording posted to the website. So if there's anything that you missed, you joined late, you can go back and review, and always feel free to reach out to us via email or messenger, and we'll get back to you. So any questions anyone has, now's a great time to ask, or any thoughts.
I have a question, Jennifer. You mentioned sparks and that possibility matches change. Can you elaborate what you're talking about there?
So Sparks, I don't know, do you know what Sparks is?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been told by DPS that as the population changes, the Sparks, the way that the algorithm evaluates if it's a good match, because there is a traffic light system. So it's green, yellow, orange, and red. So green is best of the best, yellow is best of the rest, orange is avoid if possible, and then red is like, do not breed those two horses together if you have any choice whatsoever, because genetically it's not a good match. So I've been told that as, certain lines are more or less represented in the population, those stallions or those stallion mare matches may change, because the traffic light system is based on that specific match of that mare and that stallion. So that traffic light system may change if a line is more or less populated in the population. So you may have a horse that goes from green to yellow with a match. So using old Spark sheets is not recommended.
Okay. So what you're talking about is Sparks is not only tracking how related two ponies are, but it's tracking bloodlines as they get produced with every full crop.
Right. How related or how represented those ponies are in the entire population.
Okay.
Which is also why it's so important for everyone to keep their ponies' information up to date. As an example, if you have a stallion or a mare that has passed away, please, please, please contact DPS to let them know, because they will take them out of Sparks, and that may change what you see in Sparks as far as the traffic light system with what ponies are more well represented, which I realize if they're not alive, they're not producing, but just to help improve accuracy, the best practices would be contact DPS and let them know so they can take that pony out of Sparks. Because as an organization, we cannot do that. I can't email DPS for you. I can contact you at DPS, but I cannot do it for you. It has to come from the owner.
So I have an added comment about that information. Since we are talking about a even smaller gene pool in North America, so we have a higher risk of genetic drift here in North America, which puts us at a higher risk of genetic erosion than the UK. And it's very encouraging that Sparks is keeping track of both of that, because one of the challenges, if you start studying bloodlines, one of the biggest challenges is finding proper outcrosses. So as breeders, we all need to be thinking about what are we producing for the future, not just with regard to traits and type, but what bloodlines are we putting forth into the future that will be able to be crossed out to other bloodlines. So it's encouraging to hear that Sparks is trying to give us some insight on that. However, I think we have to look even deeper in North America, because the bloodline pool in North America is incredibly narrow. And so it's nice to see that DPCNA is wanting to offer those grants with that in mind, with the Sparks part in mind. So I really appreciate that added little detail.
It would be,
Yeah, thank you. We're trying.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I would have, this is Barbara Peck. I have a question, and I don't breed, I just have my Dale's pony mare. But I'd be curious to know how we might identify UK mare lines that would be of value to import into.
Yeah, I have all that data. You can contact me.
Yeah.
I have all that data based on what we're producing in North America.
Yeah, okay, I will, because at some point I might consider bringing a mare from the UK for that purpose. But I
Yeah,
don't want to just do it willy-nilly. I would want to do it with intent.
that's so appreciated. So the two stallions I imported was with this data in mind, because I didn't want to invest in bringing something over here that wasn't going to be helpful
Right,
to open up the diversity.
right.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
can
Well,
help you with it.
I'll be in touch then at some
Sounds
point.
good.